It's on
What's up?
two.
What's up? We're back. Last day of
Last
the
day,
show.
last day.
Sadly, I
Sadly.
feel like a really popular '90s show. It's just like, oh, this is it. We'll never get this again.
Never again.
Imagine. I'm gonna be painting my nails.
Oh my
Cause
god.
I'm bored. And whatever.
But we're gonna talk about direction.
Start us off. I always start us off.
This is true. So, let's see. Direction. Where do you want to go in life? That's what it means. What is the road, the path that you are on, and where do you see yourself going in the future? Right?
Yeah. I guess that there's a lot of different ways that you could think of direction. I feel like what made me want to think about this topic is because like I was talking to a friend and they're like, "Yo, I feel like my life isn't going anywhere. Like everything that I'm doing is amounting to nothing, and that like I just feel like empty and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yo, sometimes same to be honest. Like we work so hard, we pay bill after bill, like." We go through all this stuff and we'd be like, yo, what am I doing this for? Like, can I just stay home and cry and watch Netflix? Like, even though Netflix don't even got anything good right now because I binge watched everything. But I was like, yo, for real, like, sometimes we be doing stuff and like that mindset is like so frustrating because you can't live your life thinking that whatever you're doing is for nothing because you're gonna have no motivation and you're gonna be stuck like and not be able to give yourself happiness. And I feel like people don't realize that you're the only person that could give you happiness. Like you have all the control and like power to like give yourself the direction or give yourself that happiness that you need. Like no one can provide for you what you need to provide for yourself. Like I feel like we talked about this, like dependency and stuff like that.
You are the one holding the steering wheel of your life. You are driving the figurative car here and you are pushing yourself towards this goal. So you can decide to pull over to the side of the figurative road here and like stop and take a break. You don't always need to like be rushing towards this goal. It's not a competition. You're not in a race with anybody. Right. And like it sucks when you're like around people who know what they want to do and like
or rich people
or rich people who are just
somewhere anyways
or that they just people who have it better than you and they push or not push but they get to things faster than other people who really have to work towards that goal. And sometimes it may seem that like you're being left behind or like you're being led astray or you're not heading in the right direction in life. But in reality is you're just moving at your own pace and your own pace might not be the same pace as everybody else's.
Mm-hmm. And not everybody receives success at the same time. Like you could blow up at 50 years old. You could blow up at 13 years old. We've seen it more with younger people than older people.
And that's why like for our generation, it's very hard. Like there's such a rush rather to become successful and to try to make money and get jobs so soon and make sure that we have our life in check so early on in life when we barely even experienced it in the first place.
Yeah, like to be honest, I've realized as I've gotten like a little older, we 20 now. I swear I'm grown. But I'm like, yo, I just want to chill out. Like these responsibilities, like nah. I need my money. Like I need this corner is so hard. I need my time to like be me and be irresponsible and like do dumb stuff and like just enjoy myself. Like I feel like I've gotten comfortable in kind of floating around and being like I'll get somewhere like at some point. Yeah. And I know that I will and I'm fine with that. Like I used to always be like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? Like, okay, I have to have a plan, like I have to like know what I'm doing tomorrow and after that. And like to be honest, it's good. Like I structure myself.
Yeah.
But I feel like endlessly worrying about where you need to be every second or what you need to do is just ridiculous because things are not always going to go your way, which I hate. It's so annoying. Like you just my entire morning.
You can plan everything to the T. You can plan your whole life from start to finish and it will not go that way.
But I feel like people who have found that their lives have like flipped, they've been like, you know what? Like I didn't expect to be here, but now that I'm here, like
I'm not mad.
Yeah, like things didn't um end up being so bad. Like for example, like my dad, he was like, oh, if like he came from my country, Cape Verde, and then when he was like moving around, like sailing around and like working on boats because that's what they did at the time and blah blah blah. So he ended up in like Rhode Island, and he was like, yo, like not gonna lie, no funny. If I would have stayed there, I would have been depressed. I would have had this. I would have had that. I wouldn't have been happy. He's like, oh, like I wouldn't have had like this house. Like I wouldn't be where
Yeah.
I'm at right now. He's like, and I'm so happy like that I made that decision for myself. And I was like, damn, you had so much there. Like, you had a life there. Like, and you obviously had to move away because
Yeah.
different
A risky
circumstances.
decision.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of our parents of like, or a lot of parents of minorities or like people from the Caribbean islands, um, if you're like second generation or maybe first generation here in America,
Mhm.
our parents or grandparents really had to make big risk decisions to pick up their life from there and move all the way over here and start anew.
They didn't know what they were doing.
They jumped into a whole different like direction of life.
Yeah.
They really jumped into a whole new like system of living.
I think about
totally
it now, and
outside.
I'm like, yo, I can't even drive like 30 minutes to somewhere new without a GPS. Like, meanwhile,
Yeah.
these people be like, I got a map. I think that way's north. We out. Like, that's my direction. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting the way people like take things in their own hands and how people make something out of nothing. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think personally, on like me, I like out of my whole entire family that we are very adventurous and we don't stay rooted in one place at all.
mhm.
We, well, me, I don't like staying in a lot of like staying in cities for a long time because I was moved
Exactly.
around a lot. So I was always moved around. What people would call like a Navy brat or something like that,
Mhm.
or military brat. And like people, I find it fascinating when people are like, "Oh, I've never left my hometown. What are you doing with your life?" I was like, I don't
You
mean
need
to
go
be
now.
mean.
Use the internet.
I don't
Like-
mean to be mean, but like I don't think I could handle that.
Mhm.
I'm the type to really pick up my stuff and leave.
That's so cool though, and like I would want to be around someone like you because you would draw that out in me, and I would be like, yo, like follow you wherever you go. Like that's not cool. Like
I have a sense of just not being able to stay put. I mean, even now, I've been going to this school for almost 2.5 years.
and you're dying,
and I don't want to be here anymore. I'm like thinking like for over the summer, I'm like, I want to leave this country.
Oh really?
I want to leave. I hate being stationary.
I feel you.
But that's my own direction in life. Some people feel totally comfortable with staying in one area for the whole entire life and getting to know everybody and being comfortable and really knowing the neighborhood and having close friends from when you were in kindergarten
Isn't that
all
so
the way up.
interesting?
It's interesting because that's two different ways of life. I'm the
Yeah.
type of person that I have a bunch of loose connections. Like, oh yeah, that was that one girl that lived here for a couple of years.
You're like, what's her name?
Exactly.
That's not cool. I feel like I would like to travel, but I need like a mix of both. Like I need to feel like I have that solid security. I need to feel like I have a place that I could call home, but also I want to feel like I could go anywhere or like like you said, like pack my stuff up and move or go on a vacation and see something different, even if it's for a short period of time
I
to
think-
release.
I think it comes from the fact that I have a really strong family connection, and I know that no matter where I physically go, if I ever need to go back to someplace, there's one of my family members that are
Mhm.
willing to take me in, no matter where I am. They're like, oh yeah, you could just come and sleep on the couch, or we
Mhm.
have a room for you, or whatever.
Yeah.
I have family all over the place, so it's like, oh yeah, I'll just if stuff doesn't work out here, I just go back to New York and go to one of their apartments, or
Mhm.
I have a family member that lives out in Texas. I can if I'm by there, I can stop by at their house.
Right.
And I have that solid rock. And some people, they don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, what am I going to do if I get stuck in a hard place? But even if that happens to me, I don't really want to rely on my family, but I know it's there.
Yeah.
I have that sense of home,
I was about to say
I
that
guess.
too.
So, like, even though, like, I have a really good sense of self, meaning I'm okay with being by myself. I'm okay with being independent. I don't really like depending on people. I know that there's always somewhere that I can go back to.
If you need to fall
And
back.
for some people, they don't want to leave the stability that they have because they don't have that sense of self, because that's embedded in their home. Meanwhile, my sense of self is independent from my sense of home.
And home and that security and like experiences that truly like defines where you'll head. But I feel like there's so much that goes into it too. Like, but I think about my friends and like where I've started and where we all are now. I'm like, damn, how do we get here? Like, and I just remember things and I'm like, yo, like at this time I looked like this, I thought like this, I felt like this. Like I didn't experience that. Like this didn't shape me yet. Do you get what I'm saying? And I'm like, like it always intrigues me like how people end up where they are. Like for you, for example, I'm like, damn, like, you know, she's been everywhere and she's like had all these cool experiences and she's here, like we're sharing this space. Like or like even when you're like in public and you see someone that you haven't seen for a while, or you know, you see someone, you're like, damn, like I was thinking about this the other day. I'm like, yo, we like left our houses, we like got up, like got dressed, like ate, like drove, took the bus, Uber, whatever, and we like ended up here at the same time at the same place. Like, and that's like kind of magical. It's
coincidences. And when you see people that you haven't seen in a long time and you're like, wow, out of all places I see you here. It's kind of like
you'll get away.
Yeah, like I don't want to see you again. It's like I went on a trip like out of the country to Japan a couple of years back, and actually recently, like a couple of months ago, I saw a girl that I went on a trip with.
Oh, really? That's
and I was
so
like,
weird.
I was like, oh my god, I know her from somewhere. And then it was at a function that we were at together, and she at some point during like the function, she turned and like she was like, did you go to Japan a couple of years ago? I was like, oh my god, that's so weird. I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I thought I recognized you, but like I wasn't sure like where I knew.
Enough to approach you.
No,
thank you for approaching me.
Thank you for approaching me. Step. Yeah, but I was just like, wow, that's really weird, because the function that we were at was like my mom's friend's family. I was like, that's so weird that we live in like such a small world that this girl is now related to my mom's friend. I was like,
how small is Japan that you had to see someone? Like, what? That's so weird.
Oh god.
You know what's even more interesting is when like you're magnetically attracted to people who are into the same things as you. Like for example, like you being artistic and you like to, I think you're a good writer, and you like to draw.
I love drawing.
I suck at drawing, but I'm like a little creative. I can write a little bit.
I love drawing. I wanted to be an author. I'm very artistic in general.
You haven't showed me anything.
No.
Is there ever gonna be a no?
Yeah. I've been artistic since I was very young. My mom's very DIY mom kind of thing, and
I cannot follow directions, so that would not be me.
So no, she's not really like follow directions type of person either. She sees something and she's like, I can make that. I'm like, I don't know if you can do that. But like she does it. She's like, she sees like my mom, she makes a lot of bags out of old fabric and like stuff like that.
That's so cool.
And she's working on making me a tote right now. I'm so excited. It's reversible too.
Reversible.
It's reversible. It's really cute.
They should make like touchy-feely totes, like one with like fur. One with like fur, and then the other side like something else.
Well, the fabric she's making it out of is like some old curtain or something. I don't know. It's really
That's cool, though.
cool and vintage looking.
I
I was
take
like,
that.
yeah.
But yeah, like I think it's interesting, like how life in like certain places really could guide you into like landing like where you should be. You know, like perfect
Yeah.
place, perfect time.
It's kind of like my mom. She described parenting as because she thinks that some people don't parent the correct way.
Mhm.
And the way she's not saying that she's the perfect mom or anything. She always says that she could be better and that she wishes that she was better. And I tell her that she's doing a great job, of course, because she's my mom. But she says that parenting is like bowling, and I'm like the child is the bowling ball, and parents are the bumpers, and you're just bumping them so they don't fall into the gutter and going in like the not right direction, you know?
The scenario went like completely different. I thought you meant like you're throwing the child, like
you're throwing the child. Just throw the child. Let them roll. No, she says that like parenting is being the bumpers on the side of.
Okay. Oh.
So like you're guiding them rather than letting them fall into the pit. Okay. Yeah, to hit the pins, to hit
not throwing them into deep darkness.
No, not just throwing them into the darkness. No, the parents are the like the bumpers.
They're like the
They're just guiding you. She's not forcing me to do anything or forcing
like the railings. Yeah.
Yeah, the side railing so you don't fall off the edge of the cliff, you know. Whatever analogy you want to use, but she's not forcing me to make any sort of decisions. Mm-hmm. She's more like, well, if you want to do this, you can, but just know these are the risks. Mm-hmm. Do you want to take those risks? This is what can happen, whatever. And we're very
like, you need to do this because I know better. Like,
no, she'll always give like antidotes, like little stories that would happen in her life, and like and stuff that is like relatable or sometimes not relatable, and I have to like come up with saying that like, okay, it's a new generation now, like come on now, like things are different.
I had that conversation like 5 times a day.
And so things don't always match up, but she does her best. Mm-hmm. And the direction she leads me in is my own path. Mm-hmm. Because she has only shaped a certain like stuff with me, you know?
Yeah.
She only influenced some things because she talked me through it. We're very communicative. We're always talking about something or the next step in life and where I'm headed. And like just yesterday, I was on the phone with her talking about like how like I'm gonna get a job this summer, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're so grown up." And like I was like, "Don't get all emotional on me now."
That's so funny. I feel like my parents did a great job in kind of like creating those like those markers for me, like where I should be or what I should do. And I mean, like legally they have to like keep me in school till like high school, but like on some real they were like, oh, like you need to get your education, like you need to be somebody, like you can't do this without that, and like if this then that, you know. So kind of like having those
values.
Yeah, and like that kind of like reminder constantly, even though it's really annoying, it's kind of like, okay, like I know what I need to do. Like, not gonna lie, the other day I was like, I want to jump out. Like at this second, like I'm logging on to PeopleSoft right now because I was getting frustrated with my assignments and stresses and blah blah blah. And this is a really like rare moment. But I was telling my dad, I was like, oh, like I'm really tired. I was like, I'm really annoyed. I was like, I don't want to jump out. And I was like being dramatic, but I was like really dead ass at that moment. And I was like thinking about my life. What would I do? I'm like, damn, no. I know I have to stay anyways, but whatever.
Yeah.
I was venting to him. And then he's like, yo, don't give up. He's like, you can't give up now. He's like, you've gotten too far and like you're so close. He's like, just don't give up. And I was like, damn, like, you know, having them there and being able to like tell you that. And like I know since it's such a rare moment also that it means so much even more, you know.
Yeah.
Like they don't always have to tell me because I always am working towards something or I'm always doing what I have to do, but they still be like, I'm still remind you anyway because I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna drill it in your head till you get to where you need to be. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
One thing I do wish though, in my experience, is that they kind of like guided me or like helped me with identity and like understanding myself and understanding emotion and relationships and like
I
basic
think
human function and stuff like that. Like
I think my parents never really directed me the way your parents did, like stay in school and stuff like that. That was always kind of just implied
mhm.
because my mom was very serious about that, I guess you could say. Just like she wasn't like stay in school because you need to stay in school. Nah, she was like, that is your responsibility. So that's what you have to do. You come
Mhm.
home, you study. But after you study, we're gonna dance and like do music and draw a little bit and
Mhm.
have fun. And then tomorrow you're gonna go to school again.
Mhm.
And it's just gonna be until like you tell yourself to stop, basically.
It's funny though because before I got to college, like there was talk about like money, like how we're gonna do this, and I was like like I got you, like I'm here for you, but you're not gonna waste my time, you're not gonna waste my money, and I don't want you to waste your time. Do you get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he's like, figure out what you want to do. He's like, I want you to be in school, and I was like, what if I don't want to be in school? He's like, nah, like I want you to be in school, but like if you feel so strongly against going to school, then you need to start working and figure out what you need to do so that you're successful anyway. Do you get what I'm saying?
I think my mother didn't teach me, like she told me it was a responsibility to be in school, but it wasn't forced upon me
Mhm.
in a way that I would dislike it, which made me like learning, which made me like going to school. And there wasn't like this outside pressure that was like, you need to do good. I was doing good on my own accord. For some
Mhm.
people that doesn't work, and that's obvious, but I was doing good on my own accord, and I was putting pressure on myself to always do better.
Mhm.
So when it came to college, it was kind of like a natural, like, so yeah, I'm going to college, and so how are we going to like do this money wise and stuff like that.
Right.
There was other disputes like with my father about like what I wanted to be, but that's like he thinks sometimes he knows what's best, or no, not that he knows what's best, he just knows that what's going to make me money in the long run. He was like, you should work for the government, and I was like, half my family already does, and he was like, that's why it works. And I didn't want to like be conformed to what my family does.
You want to create your own life for yourself, and that's what I feel like was difficult for me because like having support in some areas versus not in others, and truly trying to figure out what's my passion or what I'm doing, and kind of like this conversation I had with my friend where I was like, damn, what am I doing? Where am I going? Like,
Yeah.
what is this gonna amount to?
It sucks when you have a conversation with somebody the same age as you, and you hear what they're talking about, and like they seem to have everything figured out, or they have so much going for them. Like they have a car, they have insurance, they're paying for everything, they got a job, they're going to college, and they're getting good grades and stuff like that. Like they're just doing great in life. And they're somehow making everything work out compared to like me, for example, who is only going to college, is getting good grades, but like I don't have like a car, or I don't have like a job that I'm making, like I have on the side, or anything like that. So it's like I was having this conversation with my mom yesterday, and she was like, well, you're just moving at your own pace, you're going with your own flow, you're doing what you can handle. And honestly, it was a relief for me to hear that, because with thinking about like this past year and everything, that like the difficulties that happened in my personal life and whatever, plus school, if I had had a job on top of that, I would have been in shambles, so like it's all about the direction and stuff that life puts you.
How to put the shambles together. Interesting. What comes to mind when you think of direction? I feel like being lost is like a necessary feat of life. Like you need to feel like, you know, maybe everything fell apart or that,
Yeah.
nothing's really amounting to anything.
I
that
think
you're not really working towards anything.
There's a crucial part of your life where it's like, I don't know where I'm going, or I don't know what's happening, or I thought I knew where I was going and I just dropped everything and now I'm somewhere that I don't know like where to go from here. And when that point in life happens, I think that's a really crucial turning point
It's a
in
deciding
everybody's life.
factor. Like that moment decides if you're just gonna like sit there and like either let your life ruined or stay in the same circumstance, or like push yourself for better, or like try to get through it. You know what I'm saying? Like that moment the other day, like I was like, damn, let me write it. And I actually ended up finishing the essay. I was surprised,
Yeah.
and I was like, kind of proud of myself. I was like, damn, I
It's
really pushed through that. Like
it's interesting because I forget, I think I heard it in either a movie or maybe I read it somewhere in a book that it said that your life can change in a single moment. You can pick up and spontaneously buy a ticket to go to a different country and leave. Leave your life right from where it is. Leave everything and just change it right in that moment. Just because you decide to get on a plane and leave.
And that's what's so funny too, is how tied to things we get. Like we get tied to social media. We don't want to delete our accounts. We get tied to this friend because we've known them for so many years. We get tied to this job because they gave us some benefits, or because we like the people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we have all these associations and these ties, but they're more. How do I say? They're more like a looser connection than we think. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think that's what I've learned from moving around a lot.
That scares me.
A lot of people get so attached to people, and I think it's one of the reasons why I'm like, no, to everything. I don't have a strong connection with a lot of people. The people that I do have a strong connection with are the people who I believe are worthy to stay in my life. You know, if I choose to have a connection with you, if I choose to, it's all about me choosing to have a connection with somebody, And if I decide to pick up my life and leave tomorrow, if I contact you after that, consider yourself lucky. Because guess what? I decided I'm done with this place. Like,
please call me after this. I still want to be your friend after this. Don't leave me.
And like, it's just like that for me. But for some people, they're like, oh my God, how can you do that? You spent this whole semester with this person. You've become their friend.
Yeah, you're a family.
You spent all this time with them. You've eaten lunch with them 1,000 times. You had deep conversations, this, that, and the third, whatever. I don't like, I'm like, I value that time that I had with them. I value it. I will always remember it. It's written down somewhere, probably in a journal, about the precious memories that I've had together with this person. But what doesn't matter is like
what you think I should be doing with my life.
Yeah, basically. It's not like I'm going to be eternally connected to you forever, even though that would be wonderful, But it's like, it's like weird to think about in the long run, because if I decide to pick up my life and make new connections with other people, I can't continue using my energy to be connected to everybody else, if that makes sense.
It does.
I more focus myself in the present moment, is what I'm trying to say. And some people get hurt by that. And I think
it's interesting when
detached,
people,
I guess.
Yeah. I think it's interesting when people get upset at you for like the direction that you're taking in your life. Because if I decide to take something in my hands, if I decide to drop everything and put all my money towards creating clothes, or drop everything and try to become
they'll a master hate.
Musician. Do you know what I'm saying?
They'll hate. That's like, I mean, like, it's the joke. It's the joke of like, oh, SoundCloud rappers, or like, buy my mixtape. Those kind of jokes I don't find them quite funny because guess what? They're trying to put themselves out there. That's something that they actually like doing, and you might listen to it and you might be like, dang, I don't know about all that. But, they're putting themselves out there, and it's rude for you to go out there and say like that's the wrong direction and they should be doing something better with their life. But that's something that they're passionate about, and they took that leap. And guess what? You didn't take that leap, and you didn't do something that you were passionate about. So why didn't you take that direction yourself instead of hating on somebody who took that
And has the
direction?
bravery,
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, people do it on the side. People still be hustling. People be
Exactly.
hustling and doing that.
And that's why I don't understand that joke. I don't like it because let's say if somebody decided to drop everything and start a YouTube channel, they're gonna be like, well, you have like 0 followers, like your subscribers, like you're not making any money right now.
Like when I'm an Instagram baddie, do not call me. I don't know.
Yeah,
you.
Exactly. Don't call me. When I got 1 million followers and I'm making bank off of
the Bahamas.
Exactly, but I'm making bank off of people just watching my videos or liking my Instagram posts and promotions, and I'm getting PR or whatever. Don't come hating on me because you decided not to support me when I first started. You decided not to support me on my direction that I took my life because it was out of the norm. Not everybody needs to follow the norm. I'm sick and tired of these trends of what the right direction is, what the prime life is. Anybody can decide to get up and do whatever they want.
I've never been the type to like let somebody like influence where I'm going. Like you can suggest stuff, you could, tell me your experience, that's cool, but I know at the end of the day that I'll be happy with whatever I do because I have that confidence and I have that power in myself to be like, whether I'm going to school, whether I'm working 9 to 5, whether I'm working fast food, whether I'm working at a freaking strip club, like it don't matter because that's me. This is my life, and that's the position that I want or may not necessarily even want to take, but I have to take, and I'm putting all the forces and all the energies of the universe towards getting myself to where I need to be. Do you know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with anybody else.
It doesn't, because it's about you. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, my mom likes to say that I'm very selfish because I only think about myself a lot of the time. But I'm actually I don't. I think about everybody. But she says that I think about myself because I'm very detached in emotion.
But why can't we think about ourselves? Why can't we, like, if you're not hurting somebody, what's wrong with putting yourself first? Because half the time, most of the people don't put themselves first. Most of the people, wake up in the middle of the night for people, or going that extra mile, or doing favors, or giving money, or like showing extra love, or wasting their time doing stuff.
I like doing that for people, like I said before, that I actually really truly care about, that I have that connection with. If I like you to that extent, if I have that connection with you, I'm going to go the extra mile for you. I'm not selfish like that. I'm selfish in the fact that I'm not going to put my arm out there for somebody that I don't care about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to I'm not going to go on the limb and stretch my money or do this or that for somebody that I feel
doesn't deserve
it. Yeah. Or it was iffy or flaky or whatever the case may be.
People really try to take your rights away from you. Like, I have the right to conduct myself in any way that I please, as long as it's not hurting people, as long as it's ethically correct. I have the right to, get money in any way that I need, or, take any job that I have to take. And, if I have setbacks, if I end up proving you right, like, it is what it is. Do you get what I'm saying? But that's for me to judge, and that's for me to live with. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. And that is your own direction of life.
Like, even like giving people advice, I'm like, it's your life. You do you. But what I would suggest, or if I was in that position, I would probably take this path. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I give advice all the time. And a lot of people that I give advice to, sometimes I get mixed reviews. Sometimes I'm always like, I'm only giving you this advice, like if you decide to do that, that's on you. Or if you don't decide to do it, that's also on you. I'm just giving you like the advice that I would do.
Yeah.
And sometimes people are like, wow, I really needed to hear that. You're really good with words. Other times they're like, that was too blunt. I don't know about that. That was a lot. But like some people just want, there's a difference. And those people that say that was too blunt, or I don't know, you hurt my feelings, those people are manipulative people. They just want
you to tell them what they want.
What they want to hear rather than what will help them. And those are the people I stay away from. I can't deal with those type of people. If you're not doing anything to improve yourself and you're stuck in one way because you decide to keep yourself that way, that's on you. That's totally on you.
I'll be feeling bad sometimes.
No, there's no, if I try to help you, like, because I'm saying this after I've tried to help them and they decided to continue doing
then it's on you.
Their behavior, and then they come back to me with the same problem. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to sugarcoat it this time and say, oh, it's gonna be okay? Or like, I'm gonna be like, no, you should have listened to me the first time and now it's clipped. Don't talk to me anymore. Like, I'm tired. Like, I'm not gonna, you don't wanna help yourself? You don't wanna get yourself.
You're like, damn, like, I feel you, shorty. Like,
that's
this hurt me too. I got played too now. You see, get away. Like,
exactly. Like, I'm sitting there listening to your whole situation. I'm like, I saw how hurt you were. I saw how upset you were. The situation got you, and you're gonna sit there and run back to that person or that situation like you didn't get advice on how to get out of it.
You know what I don't like? I don't like when I encounter people that remind me of my past self, especially things that like I've grown from. Like, if I know somebody that's like a very vulnerable person, I'm like, God damn it. Like, when I was younger and like, you know, kind of like gullible and naive, like, but if they're like in my position or, you know, I know them now, I'm like, damn, like, I can't be around you because you're gonna make me feel like a reminder of who I was, and I feel so beyond that person that I don't want to like interact with you because I feel like I'll be interacting with myself and know how like negative effects. Yeah, like negative emotions, you know, like,
yeah.
And that I try to like,
I feel like everybody goes through ups and downs in their life. And I personally see my life like that. I've seen like my life in very high moments.
It'd be like these periods, like,
and then like very low moments. Yeah, and I wouldn't even say 3-4 month periods. It'd be like just good years, and then like a couple of months where it was just like, no, it wasn't okay, you know. But like, that's because of outside situations, you know, outside decisions that were being made that I couldn't really do anything about, and that all directs your life, where your life is headed, what decisions you make in the long run. And I just think that the direction of somebody's life can really change off of the simplest thing. Somebody can tell you something today that can blow your mind figuratively, and just like the next day you'll be like, I quit the school. I'm good. I'm gonna just work and live my life freely without this society telling me what to do and that I need school and this, that, and third, whatever.
I think the bravest people are the people that decide to make a living off making money for themselves, like doing, like, I don't know, like that example before, making clothes, or like starting a business, or like, you know, getting a share, or like investing in stuff.
Yeah.
Like, more power to you. I feel like everybody has the right and authority to live their life in any way that they please, and that outside influences should never impact who you are or what you've always dreamed of achieving.
I think outside influences should have an influence. That's why they call outside influences on you to a certain extent. Not that it changes, not a reminder, not that it changes you fully, but that it does influence you in some way. It's like a gentle like push. I'm talking about the positive ones though.
Yeah.
Like, I think I am the way I am because of my family. My family is full of 1,000 different kinds of people, and I have a lot of different people that work a lot of different jobs, and the way they took life, and just getting up and leaving. For a fact, matter of fact, rather, my uncle, he lived in Brooklyn his most of his life. And let's see, I think it was like 5 years ago, he decided to sell his house and move to Hawaii.
He's lit. I think you told me about him. He's lit.
Yeah, he's awesome. I love his personality. He's spontaneous, he's adventurous, he's great, and he's so intelligent. He knows everything. He's read like 1,000 books.
Wow.
And he is such an inspiration in my life. He just got up and left and he went to Hawaii. And sure, maybe now he's back and he's living 5 minutes from my house, you know? And but he got up and left to Hawaii. Like, who does that? Like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna just get up. I'm gonna leave.
Right now, let's go.
Let's just get up and leave.
Don't even at the show. Just leave it right there.
Just leave. Just gets up and dips. You know, like,
Yeah.
I think that's such like that spontaneity that he had. It was like kind of installed in me, but it was also installed in me by my mom, who decided to get up and leave 1,000 times when I was little and move 1,000 places. You know, it doesn't like. I just love that.
Nigga like you.
And those are my outside influences. Maybe it was because I was raised that way, or because like I see the benefit that it can have, or just that I enjoy doing a lot of different things. I'm not one for the boredom of living and looking at the same things over and over again.
True.
I don't like seeing the same faces every day. I like seeing and meeting new people and talking to new people and learning. Like I said, I love learning. I love learning about new people, new cultures, new places. Yeah, that's my direction in life.
My direction. I think, all in all, I just want to be in a place where I have a lot of money and I can kind of like carelessly spend. I want to have like, kind of basic stuff like a decent house. Like, I want to be more connected with my family or create my own. And if it doesn't turn out that way, I'm totally fine with that. So I'm totally fine with like living by myself and being by myself. But I just want to have like a luxurious, lavish lifestyle and be comfortable and love what I'm doing and be able to wake up and be like, wow, like I made it and I'm here and I'm proud of everything that I've done and all those hours that I spent and all those essays and assignments that I did and didn't do. Like, I just want to get to the point where wherever I'm at, I feel like everything that I've done was worth something. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. My direction in life, I guess you could say, would be to be comfortable as well. Maybe not luxury. I don't want to have too much money that it's like that I don't know what to do with it, but I want to have enough money that I can get up and leave in the morning if I decide to, and have enough money to just pick up my life if I want to.
Where it left off, right?
Yeah. Where it left off, or just pick it up and start all over again in a different place. Not start all over again, but, reroute myself someplace else. I don't want to be stuck in an apartment working like a 9 to 5 and having to like worry about
food on the table, the electricity and like went out.
What is going like what I'm gonna do next month. I don't want to have to worry about those kind of things. I just want to work, rent an apartment. I don't mind the apartment part, rent an apartment. I don't want to buy a house because I'm probably not gonna like stay in one. Maybe I'll buy a house for the long run, but that's like later on in my life. I don't plan on rooting down anytime soon, and my mom is a little worried about me. But
she's like, I'm coming right now. Do not leave, Iona. Do not leave. Wait for me.
Don't leave. That was my dad, like, because I told him right after college, I was like, yeah, so I'm thinking I'm going to Switzerland and then the UK. I'm going to go on a little Europe trip, you know?
Oh my god.
And he's like,
how long? Like a little vacation or like just spend time there and live there?
I want to spend time there. I've always wanted to live in another country for a little while.
Interesting.
So, like, if I take my education, I'm just going to dip. I'm going to dip.
Y'all can't call me because I got a foreign number. See you when I see you.
I just don't have, like, I don't know. I'd rather be out learning about a different culture, out learning something different. I think I know everything there is to know about American society, and I don't like it.
I've learned enough. Stop, please.
To be completely honest, I don't like it. So when you go
clocking
clocking out
Clocking
today,
out.
I'm leaving. I'll come back later. Because, like, people who sit there and say with their whole chest, like, I love America, that makes me hurt in the inside. I love America. No, you better sit down. You better rethink about what you just said. No.
Be careful, that's when I was in the school. But on a good note,
You're
going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. Hopefully that somewhere is out of the school because this semester needs to end already.
Yes. It does. I'm tired. I need finals week to be over, like, tomorrow. Like, somebody got to take my test for me because my brain has logged out officially.
Well, with that, I guess we'll be signing off.
Signing off.
Semester long little radio show.
Yep.
So whoever watched, thanks. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe we'll be back. Are we gonna be back?
Maybe. Who knows?
We'll see if that's our direction.
Oh god.
Well, with that, enjoy your summer, cuties. We'll see you later.